Authorities have arrested Christopher Preciado and Ramon Preciado in connection with the deaths of Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra and baby Fabian. According to investigators, these individuals are alleged to have been involved in the events leading to their deaths. At this time, they are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in the court of law. The case has now entered the trial phase, where evidence is being presented and examined. In court, prosecutors are presenting evidence collected during the investigation, timeline details, and witness testimony. Their goal is to show what they believe happened in the final hours. The defense is not admitted guilt. Instead, they are challenging the prosecution's case and raising reasonable doubt about the evidence presented. Jurors must now determine what happened, who is legally responsible, and whether the case has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. At Lawfully Grounded, we also look at the legal framework. In Texas, cases involving multiple victims, including an unborn child, can carry the most serious charges under state law. Savannah Soto was preparing to welcome her son, Fabian. Instead, their story is now being told in a courtroom. And at Lawfully Grounded, we believe understanding these cases matters. Follow Lawfully Grounded for respectful and informed case breakdowns. Because here, we don't just tell the story, we break it down. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's be sure to have a respectful discussion in the comments. See you next time.
Surveillance footage from the area where the Kia Optima was found. The apartment complex on Danny K Drive had cameras, so did nearby buildings. Investigators requested everything, hours of footage before and after the estimated time the car was left there. At first, nothing stood out. Cars came and went, residents parked, walked inside, and left again. Then, one clip caught their attention. It showed the gray Kia Optima arriving in the parking lot, not alone. Another vehicle followed it in. The second vehicle was a white Chevrolet Silverado. It parked nearby. A man stepped out of the truck and approached the Kia. Instead of looking inside or checking the car, he focused on something else. He wiped the door handle. The act was brief but deliberate. Moments later, both vehicles left the lot.
So also new today, San Antonio police released this surveillance video of a Chevy Silverado with a bed cover. It also shows two persons of interest police want to speak to. One of them gets out of the Chevy Silverado parked next to Soto and Guerra's Kia. Another is seen getting out of the Kia. This video was taken near the location where the bodies of Soto and Guerra were found.
Investigators ran the Silverado's information. The truck was registered to a residence on Charlie Chan Drive, only a short distance from the apartment complex. That address belonged to the Preciado family. Once police made that connection, the case accelerated. They obtained search warrants and began reviewing phone data tied to the residence. Location records placed the Silverado near the apartment complex around the same time the Kia was moved. During questioning, Ramon Preciado, the truck's owner, made statements that immediately raised concern. He acknowledged being aware why police were there. He did not deny being at the apartment complex. Investigators also learned that his son, Christopher Preciado, had been in communication with Matthew Guerra before the disappearance. The pieces began to fit together. On January 3, 2024, police arrested Christopher Preciado. He was 19 years old. According to investigators, Christopher admitted that Savannah and Matthew had come to the house for a drug transaction. He claimed that an argument followed and that Matthew pointed a gun at him. He said he grabbed the weapon and fired, but the physical evidence told a different story. The gunshot wounds did not match a spontaneous struggle. The placement of the bodies did not suggest chaos, and the methodical cleanup and relocation of the car did not align with panic. Christopher was charged with capital murder, not just for Savannah and Matthew, but for the unborn child as well. His father, Ramon Preciado, was arrested the same day. He was charged with abuse of corpses and evidence-related offenses for helping move and conceal the bodies. The investigation didn't stop there. As detectives continued reviewing footage and statements, they identified a third person involved in the aftermath. Surveillance suggested that Mirta Romanos, Christopher's stepmother, had been present during the movement of the vehicle and may have assisted after the killings. January 10th, she was arrested and charged with tampering with evidence and abuse of corpses. By mid-January, the case that had begun with a missing pregnant teenager now had 3 defendants, a reconstructed timeline, and a clear theory of events. But the arrests did not end the story. They opened the door to a deeper, more complicated phase, one that would test the law itself, raise questions about accountability, and determine how far responsibility extended beyond the person who pulled the trigger. That reckoning would play out in court. Because Savannah was pregnant, the case carried an additional legal weight. Texas law recognizes the death of an unborn child in violent crimes. Investigators counted Savannah's baby, her unborn son Fabian, as a third victim. That single factor elevated the case from murder to capital murder. Capital murder is the most serious criminal charge in Texas. It is reserved for cases involving multiple victims, murders committed during certain felonies.
Is that your dad?
Yes.
Okay, like I said, Detective was explaining about like why we're here, why we're taking prep, and he said he figured. So you know what this is all about too, right? You don't have any idea why we're taking the trip, why we're contacting you? What video are you referencing?
The case I video, the one that they put on the news.
The one with the pregnant girl? That was missing? Okay. Do you know anything about that?
It wasn't that. It was a truck. It was just they said they found a suspect.
Okay. But you know anything about that call though? Okay.
A call?
Yeah, the
I
call.
didn't get a call.
No, for us, like a police call is what
I saw it on the news.
But do you know what it was a reference to? Okay.
No, I've really been keeping up with the news. They just caught on the news.
Who else lives here besides you and your dad? Your mom?
My mother, my dog.
You're just okay.
New details revealed in the capital murder trial of Christopher Preciado. He's charged in the murders of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn son. Investigators say Soto's phone was last tracked near the Preciado home, where prosecutors believe the victims went in December 2023 and were killed. Inside the Preciado home, a locked bedroom door, inside a handgun and shell casings. One of those casings had what looked to be blood on it. Also, possible blood evidence was found on clothing and a security cable. Even more, someone nearby reported finding money with blood on it.
My dogs are pulling me to the street. I saw a $100 bill on the ground, and it looked like there was a little bit of blood on it.
So far, around 20 witnesses have gone up in this trial, and about 36 are expected. So this will probably be ending sometime next week. If found guilty, Preciado would automatically be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. To keep all up to date on this trial, go to ksat.com, KSAT 12.